So what are vaginal dilators and why use them? Let's talk about it. These are vaginal dilators. There are many different sizes, and women use these to work on stretching the vaginal tissue or working on trigger points on the inside of the vaginal canal, like those hip rotator muscles that may have a trigger point, or working on connective tissue that may be compressing on a nerve in the vaginal canal. So sometimes you just can't get to those spots. So using a tool like this can help you get to those spots and work on the trigger points. So also pregnant women can use this tool to stretch the vaginal opening before labor and delivery to prevent tearing or needing for an episiotomy, which is cutting of the vaginal tissue and the vaginal opening to allow for a smoother delivery. So they usually come with a handle, this, and it snaps into the base. This. And you should hear a click, and it looks like a little sword. And the patient or who's ever using this can use this mechanical leverage to reach those trigger points, to stretch the vaginal tissue. I have patients that work in like a plus sign pattern, moving in further into the canal, and the vaginal canal, to stretch the tissue. So if a patient can tolerate a manual exam from an OB, then they can tolerate this one because it's like the size of a finger. So the goal is to move through the other different sizes, right? And honestly, I don't even use the bigger ones with patients, because once the patients learn to relax the pelvic floor muscles and work the trigger points with the smaller dilators, they really don't need the bigger ones. So the point isn't really to, get to the one that matches your partner. It really is about like learning to be aware of the pelvic floor muscles, to relax the tone, and to be aware and connect with the pelvic floor muscles. So these dilators, and I'm not talking about specific brands, we're just talking about like what you would use them for. They're made up of different materials, so these are plastic, but some companies make them with silicone, some companies make them with a handle, some companies make them without a handle. Some have different shape, but they serve the same purpose of stretching the vaginal tissue. So that is what vaginal dilators are and what they're used for. Check them out on the internet. You can find different products, brands, and materials that may suit your needs.